Hi everyone, welcome back to Injection Insight with Aaron. I'm Aaron.
I'm Lisa. And I'm Monica.
So today we're going to have a special episode where we're also going to be introducing Monica. If you want to give us a little bit of information about yourself.
So I'm the office manager here at Dermal Beauty, and I came to Aaron through a friend, but I've been in the medical field for 32 years. I started as an x-ray tech and was in the field of orthopedics, and I manage a practice, and I do that every single day except for Fridays, and this is my fun job.
Yes.
We love having our Fridays are the best.
Fridays are the best, yeah.
So today we're going to be discussing different ages, right? And how each age
What treatments that are going to be best for you, as you age each, decade is we're going to discuss. So treatments that you can do just starting now and what we all do because we're all different age ranges here, decades here. So this is actually going to be a two-parter. So we're going to today discuss 20s and 30s. And then episode 2 is going to be 40s and 50s.
So let's start out with 20s, obviously.
Yeah.
So I will discuss kind of more medical-based recommendations, and you can discuss more skincare-based as, our expert esthetician. So in regards to, in your 20s, right? So every year from 25 on, we lose about 1% of our collagen. If people didn't know that, you do. So if that is the case, right? So anybody that is feeling like they're aging, they want to kind of like slow down the clock, you want to start stimulating collagen. So by 25 and on, you want to do any kind of treatment that's going to stimulate collagen. You want to do microneedling. You want to do any type of like radio frequency, anything like that's going to maintain tighter skin, stimulate collagen, and just kind of maintain it so you don't lose, as fast, right?
Yeah.
And then in regards to that, skincare based, what would you say?
I would say a good skincare routine. You don't need anything too aggressive. I feel like sometimes nowadays people feel like, they need to do all these aggressive treatments or peel a lot thing. You don't need to do that. You still have baby skin at this point. So I would say preventative. So sunscreen, just get a good cleanser. I don't think it's too early to start with a good eye cream as well, and don't forget your neck area and all of that. And then I know we talked on a previous episode about starting baby Botox, or whatever.
Look, baby Botox is cute. It's a cute little gimmick, but basically lower dose of Botox. Do smaller amounts, a little bit, just kind of slow down the movement. You don't want to completely freeze your face. Well, some people do, but usually at that age you don't need to. But basically use a smaller amount of Botox on your face just to prevent it. And then you could do stuff like, maintenance filler, right? If you're starting to get a little bit of gravity or you do have some hollowness, just a little bit of filler just to soften things without overdoing it, because you can quickly look abnormal or not yourself if you overdo it.
And keeping genetics in mind too.
Yes.
Your genetics has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, good genes.
Yeah.
Nowadays a lot of people, or women and men, I guess, in their 20s are going with the lip filler, right? That's great, but just remembering that your lips can only take so much product. So for safety, making sure that you go to a right person that knows, like, okay, you come in, want 5 syringes. Well, that's not really very realistic, right? And also you don't need it. You don't need that much that young.
And wouldn't you recommend like a softer?
Yes, absolutely. So typically in that age, I would do a softer filler that's going to be more hydrating than something that's going to be like massive and it's going to look odd. It might look great on Instagram and TikTok, but the reality of it is not going to look that great.
And overfilling that young too, as you get older, your lips are going to be so big, right? The skin is going to be loose. So
yeah, you can. First of all, it's going to migrate because there's no space. There's no space in the lip. We do see that a lot. We'll take care of it if that's you. But yeah, so if it migrates, we can obviously take care of it. But typically, if you overdo it too soon, you don't have the space in your lips. 1, it's going to migrate. 2, it's going to expand the lips so much that by the time you're in your mid-30s and say you're like no longer into that look, you don't want to do it, you're going to have, like you said, kind of like that was like
loose lips.
I'm like, it's a hard word to say, but yeah, you're going to have like looser tissue in your lips and you're going to have to keep filling it or it's going to look wrinkled.
You'll always chase the look that you once had without being able to fulfill that look.
There you go. Exactly.
And keeping in mind, I know it's hard because we're all on social media and we're inundated with all this stuff, but the trends do change, right? So in at the moment may not be in next year or in the 2 years. So
90s brows.
yeah, 90s
Yeah,
brows.
I think, right now I do see that a lot. And, recently everybody was into the Russian lip, the massive Russian lip, huge lips, two syringes, whatever, just massive. And once again, it looks amazing on social media, but you see them walking around in real life, it does not look as great as people may think. But I do see the trend switching, and people are going for more natural look, more hydrated, which that's always my personal aesthetic, and my professional opinion is don't go too hard too fast, just because, like you said, you can regret it. But yeah, the hydration is I think the more it's a softer, more subtle vibe. So
That's good. Did you have any other tips for 20s?
So, I mean, when I was in my 20s, it wasn't even an option, right? So for me, it was more about taking care of your skin, like cleansing your skin, scrubbing your skin, hydrating your skin, like always wear your sunscreen. And like we just didn't do any of that. And so I think it's just about paying attention, and your diet, and like I think diet is also something that people don't consider when they're thinking about their skin. Like, are you acne prone? Do you eat a ton of fried foods? Like,
do you drink enough water?
And like I think all of that leads up into when you're aging. Like, you still have to pay attention to your diet and drink your water, and like alcohol is drying. Like, everything that we put into our body does come out in our skin. And so I think aside from all the things that we can purchase and do to ourselves, it's also what are we doing to help ourselves internally.
So at what age did you guys start getting things done, and do you remember your first treatment?
Oh, I know, I do.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to go first?
You go first.
Ladies first?
Yes.
I was 36, and the first thing I did was lip filler, because I had one line that I love to wear bright lipstick. It's a thing. And my lipstick would bleed into that line, and it drove me insane. So I had lip filler in my 30s when I was 36, and I loved it. Nobody could tell, because I already had pretty full lips, so nobody could tell that I got it done. I didn't tell anybody I got it done. And then once I had it done, it's not something that I did all the time. Like, I think the next time I did it was sometime in my 40s. Like, it was just a moment of bother, and I felt like I needed to fix it.
And do you feel like when you did it last long? Was it like it kind of it filled in that issue that you were focusing on, and then you kind of were able to let it go? Or
no, I feel like it lasted a long time because of where it was, and I think because it was the first time, like my body didn't absorb it, like, and I still get lip filler. Like, I'll be honest, that's the one thing that I do, and I don't do it very often, like maybe twice a year I'll do it, but it makes me happy because that's the one place that I focus on my body.
And you don't do much either. You do a very small amount.
I do a small amount just to like keep a fullness, because
a plump, right?
I do wear very bright lipstick.
It's her signature.
Okay, so what did you do?
So my first treatment was Botox, and I did it at 30. How old am I now? Yeah, I did it at 30. Yeah,
so
I did.
Just your 11s, or like
No, so I had a friend in the industry, and I was talked into do a lot. So I did. I didn't go subtle. I went very hard, very fast. So I went from
all in.
I was like, let's do this. Yeah. So I went from no Botox to about 70 units, and I couldn't move my face, and I felt trapped. It was very. Did
you look surprised?
No, I didn't look. I just looked.
He had no movement.
Yeah, there was.
There's no expression.
Yeah, it was kind of like. So I mean, it was something that, obviously, it was interesting, right? I learned to like, okay, well, maybe next time I'll go a little subtler, But no, it was great. It's funny because I did super, a high amount, and then I realized it's way too much. And then after that, I dropped it by like half. And then I slowly work myself back up to it, and here I am. So
You like the frozen look.
I like the frozen look,
Yeah.
but I like that now I understand it, and I know, but never doing it before and doing too much, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary because you don't know
Yeah.
exactly what to expect, and then when you can't,
How
you
long
almost
it's
you
gonna last.
you how long it's gonna last, and you really do or can feel trapped in the sense that it's too much, and I was too young.
And there's
And
not much
too
you
young,
can
but
do.
it's for that amount for myself.
Yeah, you have to let it wear off.
You have to let it wear off,
It's
yeah.
not like a filler that you can
Yeah.
dissolve, really.
Yeah. And and also if you do so much all at once, the shapes on my brows kind of went flat, and my there was no arch. It was interesting. It was interesting, but you live and learn, and I now know what my dosing is and what I like, and yeah. So just remember, everybody, that I am an aesthetic nurse, and I've also had that experience that many of you have had, and I'm trying to give you my advice. So if you've never had it, just make sure that you don't go too far, too fast, too much, too fast. And as a medical professional in my industry with Derma Beauty Med Spa, I'm here to always look out for you and be your advocate, and so we can make that decision together.
And you are really good about that.
Yeah,
you
you're
always
very
let,
good, yes.
talk
Because
to
I've
people.
had the experiences myself, right?
Which helps. It helps, yeah. So for me, I feel like my first was right around 30 as well. And I want to say it was Botox also. And then the next would probably be, I remember I got filler for the smile lines because they always bothered me. But now I know that we don't really put too much filler there. I don't think I needed it there at that time. I
Mhm.
probably should have got it up here somewhere else. But that's just how the industry changes, right? As the
Yeah,
years
it
go by.
definitely
And
does,
yeah. So, leading into that, so we discussed the 20s. Now you're in your 30s.
I'm in my 30s.
Very early
Mhm.
30s.
Late 30s, but sure.
So
We'll go with that.
you started off, as you said, with
So
the
yeah,
Botox.
I
what
started
else
off with
would you-
Botox, and honestly, I find that for my age, I do a lot of skincare, skin treatments.
You
So I
do.
do like microneedling because I really want to continue stimulating my collagen. Because as I said before, from 25 on, you lose 1% of your collagen every single year, and knowing that, I want to slow it down and prevent it. So I do my microneedling. I do 3 treatments once a month, annually. I do as I notice as I age, I now get sunspots during the summer. So now I've made it part of my regimen to do chemical peels at the end of every summer, at the beginning of every winter. So I just kind of prevent that from getting worse. And then I do use my tretinoin and my hydroquinone, which is bleaching creams, lightening creams, and tretinoin helps with fine lines, wrinkles, and texture.
Keeping
So that
everything smooth,
exactly,
yeah.
just keeping everything smooth. And then I have my regular facial serums and all of that. But then in regards to filler, I don't do too much, just enough. But I do some cheek filler, some jawline filler, a little splash in the chin every now and then. But I try and take it more subtle, and like I said before, I learned that earlier, that I don't want to go too much too fast, and because I don't want to change the way I look. I want to maintain how I look.
Just enhance.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. Enhance.
And keeping it. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. Shoot. I had something to say.
So pause and continue.
I completely forgot. I think all the phones are like
So-
distracting.
So the thing is also, like I said before, I don't want to change my look. I just want to keep everything subtle
Yeah.
and soften the aging. I'm fine aging. Aging is totally normal. It's part of life. And to all of you out there that don't want to age, you're going to age. It's okay. It's just try and do it softly, and that's my goal. It's
Yeah.
not to change how I look. It's not to stop the aging process. It's to slow it down and to do it gradually and in a very my type of pace.
And again, too, going back to the genetics. I
Yes.
mean, you
Oh,
have
genetics,
good
yes.
genetics too. I mean, not everybody does.
me?
Yeah.
Stop it.
So yeah, you just want to enhance what you have, keep what you have.
Mhm.
Youthful, but for the right age demographic
Agreed.
that you're in.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So my 30s was the time where I started actually having like a skincare routine.
Mhm.
So I think in your 20s you're like, yeah, I'll do it sometimes, and yeah. But
You
in
never
my
followed it up.
30s, I started actually
Mhm.
like discovering products and practicing with products,
Mm-hmm.
and like I think Obagi was a really big thing
Oh,
when
yeah.
I was in my 30s. So like this whole system of like peel off your skin and, like get new skin and then sunscreen and serums. And like, then I did SkinCeuticals. And I think all skincare can be good skincare as long as you're consistent with it. And it's just about doing like you can use anything, but just always use something. Like hydration, like serums and creams and eye creams, and like don't forget your neck. Like it's the one thing I can say is don't forget your neck. And when you put sunscreen on, don't forget your neck. Like, because that is the one thing on a woman as we age that it ages you. And so I think just like learning this as you go, and like your mom is always going to be a big help as a woman. Like if your mom has these things, she passes it down and teaches it to you. And so like, we work here. So now we go and tell all our friends like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. So like, I think your 30s is when you really start to pay more attention to aging and like worrying about it and like, oh, how do I prevent this? What do I do? How can I help myself? And like, I think that's a good time to start, really.
Well, all the damage you did in your 20s is now starting to come out. So, now we have to erase that. And you were talking about your neck, but also the back of your hands.
The back of your hands.
And your décolleté.
If you drive a lot, sunscreen on the
it
back of
comes
your
in
hands.
through the side of your window. You don't even notice. Like if you have one of those machines where the ultraviolet, like you can see the window side of your face has way more damage than the non-window side of your face. So it gets the sun gets to you no matter where you are. So you just have to always protect yourself.
I really do love what you said about, you coming up with that routine, because I do find in your 30s is when you kind of start coming up with that routine and really staying and sticking with it.
Yeah.
Which if you don't, you should. You'll get there. But it is really when you kind of start coming up with your own routine that you personalize for yourself. Your 20s, you really don't. Every now and then you're like, oh, I feel rough, and you put something on, you slap it on your face, and then you forget about it. But in your 30s, I think it's the best.
So with that all being said, this was part 1. We discussed 20s and 30s. Our next episode, we're going to discuss 40s and 50s, and what to address with that. We have our code.
Oh yes. So our code is
Insight 50, and that is for $50 off any service.
Yes. So just make sure to follow, subscribe, and DM us and comment all the good stuff. Okay.
We really appreciate everybody tuning in, comments, all of that. So thank you.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next week. Thanks.